All right, guys. So, how I lost $180,000 in one day. So, this is how it happened. Um, the tariff news is crushing the market. The market is extremely bearish right now, and I'm in a lot of puts. I have my puts about 30 days out, and I had $50,000 into MSTR and $50,000 into Netflix. Matter of fact, rewind. So I had just shorted Netflix, MSTR, Tesla. I was up $30,000 on the day. I was totally good. My profits were great for the day. I could have been done. I should have been done. But instead, because I had made the money so quickly, I honestly started getting FOMO. I was bored. It was about 8 o'clock in the morning, and I didn't really know what else to do, so I made one of the biggest mistakes on top of being greedy is I started over trading. I didn't stick to my 1 to 2 trades per day. I got into 3, 4 trades, and this is exactly what I did. I bought $50,000 worth of MSTR and I bought $50,000 worth of Netflix. Now, the short was going great. I was up about another $25,000. I believe Netflix at the time, um, I had just made about $30,000 from Netflix, going from 985 to 10,049. So at that point, I honestly thought, all right, Netflix just had a huge jump. It's time. We're in an extremely bearish market. It's time for me to short because I didn't expect for it to continue up. It was already up basically $100 on the day. The RSI was extremely high. Which if you guys don't know what that means, that stands for the Relative Strength Index. It was way overbought at that time, and I just underestimated the market. I got greedy, I got cocky, I felt like I knew the market better than anybody else, and I got caught on the wrong end of an extremely bullish run, and this is what happened. So at the time, the markets were getting crushed by the tariff news, um, and out of nowhere comes a tweet from President Trump saying that him and China, the US and China, are going to meet to have trade negotiations and talk about a resolution. This completely upended all the bearish pressure. There was no more selling pressure at this time. Trump said he was going to pause the tariffs until he could figure out a new resolution. I think he paused them for 90 days, and the market went crazy. Now, I don't know if you follow this person, but Ricky Gutierrez, I don't know if I butchered his name. I believe that's how you pronounce it. He's one of the other traders that I watch and I follow to just give me more confirmation sometimes if I'm unsure about news or the market. He has a great community. You guys should check him out. But he was he was talking about how the markets were oversold and there could be a overbought, possible reversal. But at this time, the markets just out of nowhere completely pushed up, and Ricky was always talking about how the people are so desperate for the markets to recover that any sort of news, it doesn't even have to be positive, can make the markets just skyrocket. Like, people are dying to buy. Like, give them any reason, they just want to buy. You could say the sky is blue today, people are going to start buying. But also, unfortunately, President Trump, Elon Musk, the market is so manipulated, or it can be manipulated by people so much nowadays that you just have to be careful. Sometimes technicals are overridden by the mechanics of the market, and that is something that you kind of can't teach. You just have to be prepared for, and you got to practice proper risk management. In this trade, I had poor risk management. I had no stop loss. I didn't even have a goal in mind of how much money I was trying to make. I was just being outright greedy, and I got caught on the wrong end, and I had turned $8,000 into $180,000 in a matter of less than a month, and I lost it all in one day. I thought the markets were going to recover. I stuck in there. My accounts were down $64,000 on one account, on my Webull account, another $65,000 on my Fidelity account. And I was getting eaten up by time decay. It's another thing people don't understand in stock options is time decay also has a huge impact, as well as IV crush. We'll get into that later. You guys can research it if you're not familiar with it. But the markets did sort of pull back and start to have a slight pullback, but it didn't help me at all because the time decay was crushing me, and it took forever for the price to even come anywhere near where I entered at. And unfortunately, it just didn't happen soon enough. Like I said earlier, people are dying for a bullish market, and that is something that if you are a bear or a bull, you want to be very cautious of, not to be too biased. And a lot of people get caught up in that, and you can never really know the market completely, or else we would all be extremely rich. So again, poor risk management, greediness are the number two things that really take people out of this trading game. Those are the main two reasons why people never actually are able to stay profitable or take profits, is because they're greedy and they have poor risk management. And then I guess the other biggest thing would be emotional. You don't want to be an emotional trader. And part of my greediness and my poor risk management was me allowing my emotions to impact my trading decisions, and I just got FOMO. I felt like, dang, I made $30,000 today. I can make $150,000 because I feel like the market is gonna just have it's gonna dump to liquidate everybody, and I was wrong. So guys, I hope that this experience is able to help you guys avoid going through the same thing, because it was painful. I was low-key depressed, and it wasn't the money. It was just because I know better. And I just, I felt like dumb. I felt like, what's wrong with me? Why can I not get it through my head that, I should have just stopped trading. Like, I know this. And I think that's one of the most frustrating things, is I just was totally disgusted in myself. So that's how I lost $180,000 in one day. It was from MSTR and Netflix and just being totally greedy. And you guys need to make sure you don't do the same thing. But I teach this to my community and my students all the time, and I just wasn't practicing what I preach, and I paid for it. Literally, I paid for it. But if you're somebody who's looking to get into trading, or you're looking for something else, like a path in life, I highly recommend trading. It's literally changed my life. I ran a car rental business for almost 10 years now. I also have several other businesses, and trading is, me personally, I don't know anything else that can literally pay you $15,000 in 5-10 minutes and you don't have to deal with anybody. That's why I got into it, because it's hard to find people to do good business with, to trust. And with trading, it's just you in the charts. You're your own worst enemy. So I feel confident that I can master my emotions, and that I can be disciplined. I was pescatarian for like 7 years, and I love steak. I love chicken, and that was something that tested my self-discipline, and I believe that I can conquer myself with trading. I'm a huge risk taker. Regret is the only thing that I fear in life, so I just need to master that, and I do know that I can overcome being overly ambitious and over trading. I've done it. On Friday, I made like $1,900 in like 10 minutes. It was like 6:45, and I already made $2,000. And I had another trade that I was going to enter, but I remembered, stick to my strategy, and I didn't. And that trade would have made me $45,000. It was from Tesla. I had about $10,000 in Tesla, and I closed it out at 313. And Tesla 5 minutes later went to 333. And I would have made a crap ton of money because they were same-day options. They paid out like crazy. But hey, I wasn't really mad or kicking myself, because that is going to happen a lot. and I need to train myself to be accustomed to that. And that's something that I teach all my students. I teach people this every day. I trade live every single day, 5 days a week when the market opens. And I think that it's extremely important to have a community. I feel like I relate to a lot of people who weren't raised around financial literacy, and I can relate to a lot of people that just don't understand like the technicals of trading, but I can break it down in ways that just relate to real life instances. So that's kind of my niche, is making trading a lot more relatable to people like myself. And if you're looking for something or somebody that can teach you that's the same way, definitely check out my community, $1 Billion Blueprint. I'll drop the link below, and I hope that I can see all you guys there. But most importantly, I hope that this lesson that I learned is something that you can also learn from and avoid. I'll see you guys later.